Hey, ladies and Germans, how you all doing? A very happy Halloween to all of you out there. We're going to celebrate that with a Company of Heroes 2 2v2. This is Bonnie up here in the north, playing the OKW. It is the blue-trunked forces of luck, and RNG is all you need. Bringing to the fray, he's got Breakthrough Doctrine, Fortifications Doctrine, and Overwatch Doctrine. Not one you see very often, and one I kind of desperately want to see, mostly because of those Goliaths. He's a companion over here playing the Wehrmacht in the yellow trunks, but he is no coward. It is the forces of Gwynbleidd. Obviously something Celtic going on here, and unfortunately, I will not say that I speak Gaelic with any kind of, accuracy. So we're going to go down to the southeast, playing the Soviet forces over here, kind of taking a bit of a nap. It is actually helping Hans. He is bringing to the fray Lend-Lease tactics, guard motor coordination tactics, and partisans. And I just realized we did not bring up what Gwynbleidd is bringing. Gwynbleidd. So I say is Gwynbleidd, just for the purposes of the game. He's bringing along mobile defense doctrine, mechanized assault doctrine, and elite troops. So definitely got some stuff going on there. Meanwhile, the fourth player down here, it is synThrax DNB. Now, he's got a couple of interesting commanders by himself. He has got Airborne Company, that's still kind of vanilla. Rifle, still kind of vanilla at the same time. But Recon Support, this is kind of an interesting decision. You don't often see this one really ever get called in. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen it myself in a game that I've played. But forward observers, have that whole idea. You put Riflemen into a garrison, and it definitely allows you to get some more line of sight in the early game. But it's kind of a unique kind of situational commander. We'll see what happens with that. First action's already going on. Sturmpire is coming up against these these rear echelon troops, who are now going to get hammered as soon as that machine gun turns around. Any second now. It's going to be pretty bad for them once it does. Wait, are they going to somehow decap this? Are they going to take horrendous losses to do it? No, they back up. And synThrax is already just kind of hanging out like, oh man, we got machine guns everywhere. We can't deal with this. And an early sniper by Gwen over here will be chasing back these riflemen with really no real difficulty at all. Geez, getting pinned, getting forced back, and it is all access in the first couple of seconds of this game. Of course, to be fair, that's probably because Helping Hans was having a little bit of a nap. It is already 500 to 481. It's going to be a trip cap for the Germans. And this one squad of riflemen is going to get torn to pieces if they do not back up right now. But synThrax is going to go and try to play meta, and should be able to do a decent job of it. Ooh, and Helping Hans, did he pick up that sniper? No, he didn't, but it could be just around the river bend when he could. I don't know. In the meantime, that looks like he's going to be forced back ever so slightly. Probably even booking it out of there. Might be an even better plan. To the north, we're going to see a very, very deep dive by some conscripts, and indeed a very, very quick scout car, a quick-ish scout car is going to come out for the Soviets as well. Either way, these Volksgrens right here, actually the OKW right now playing perfectly meta, going to go and probably bring in a SWS at any point sometime soon. As soon as he's not being chased back to his own lines. Jeez, is he going to lose an entire squad here? No, that would be very, very shocking. And no, they don't. And instead, these Sturmpires over here are going to put down an opportunistic mine. And if those riflemen are not careful, they're not going to be able to find that out in time. No, they're not going to. And so it's going to be a very, very nasty surprise when the next squad comes around. Now, there's also a Wehrmacht sniper that's down here, and I'm trying to figure out where are the sniper team for Helping Hans. They're in the north. I would like to see some counter-sniping happening here, but that's kind of a tall order, I'm sure. And instead, we're just going to see synThrax actually losing his rear echelon squad to the Grens and sniper combo. Rifleman charging forward is trying to get behind this tank trap and really be setting up some sort of fight here, but it's not going well. Wherever he is, that's where the enemy seems to be as well. To go up to the north real quick to check on that sniper team. We've got 3 kills already. Doing a decent job. And indeed, it seems that Luck and RNG is paying a price for being as aggressive as he is. Mine goes off, and Helping Hans' squad car, his little scout car, gets picked up as well. That machine gun, more than enough to take it out. And geez, as soon as that mortar drops around on top of the Germans, they get picked off in return, just butchered. by, what is it? Was it actually a Wehrmacht shot that did that? No, there's no indirect fire for the Germans. I have no idea how they were able to take it out so quickly. But here we are. So a Leichte Mechanized Company has been called in by Gwyn, and it's calling it, interestingly enough, a half-track. I've seen a couple of half-tracks getting a little more play. It's a little more often seen on lower tier games, but the half-track is getting some more play than the 222. Usually you see the 222 being the immediate call-in for most of Wehrmacht players, but it does not seem like Gwyn wants to play entirely meta. And they were finally going to see a battle group headquarters coming in for luck and RNG, even though he really could be a lot more aggressive about his gameplay right now. If I were him, I probably actually would have gone for that mechanized headquarters. If for absolutely no other reason than because his opponent has no effective... There we go, never mind. Now with guard mortar coordination tactics being used here, there is finally some soft AT on the map. It will be more than enough to pick away at any sort of early Panzer II rush or things like that. Now, is Luck going to pick up those medics? Yes, he is. And the south is slowly stabilizing. Captain being called for some soft AT for the Americans. Still no rear echelon, but there is an ambo on the map now. And here it comes, that half-track with the flame projectors, so this could be interesting. So we are going to see that the 222 is a second choice out of here. But this first choice seems to be doing pretty well. Got to fry that mortar team. Almost takes it out by itself. And these riflemen are finally getting that AT grenade. But it's not going to come in quickly enough. And indeed, they're forced back as grenadiers come down and chase away both the captain and his attendant rifleman. Jeez. synThrax troops are just melting away. He's been butchered over here. Guards coming up from the north, though, picking into that rear armor. And had that captain been able to hang out just a little bit longer, he would have been able to take away that half-track. 222 charging to the front over here. 480 to 431, 7 minutes and 25 seconds into the game. And the half-track, unfortunately, will not be able to support the front like you otherwise might want to. Then again, Gwyn's troops are not in a very, very great shape either. They are getting butchered like cattle. Unfortunately, though, we're going to see what happens a lot on Road to Kharkov, that it becomes a super, super indirect fire game. Kind of wondering why there's not more committed AT coming out from synThrax, but alright. What's going on in the meantime in the north? Is HelpingHans kind of holding down the fort? Well, he's doing decently. He's got a squad of Penal Battalion troops and these guards over here. And the guards don't have their DP light machine guns, and indeed they're actually even dropping off one of them on the ground. Oh no, he does have them. But he loses it immediately to a Volksgren squad who runs off with it. And the usual tight play from HelpingHans is not happening here. We do see a 222 go out. Was that from rifle grenades? Yeah, it's an AT grenades coming out from this rifleman. But still not a particularly strong opening for the Allies. And indeed, they're under a triple cap again. Which is kind of shocking. Luck and RNG is calling in his SWS, so that way he can be picking up that Schwerpanzer headquarters, and you completely understand it why he's doing that. I mean, he's got the tons of fuel. The Germans have had fuel on the map for a long, long time. Oof, and a shoe mine up here. Going to be picking off the next aggressive squad of Allied troops. A rifleman trying to get forward enough to throw a AT grenade, but did not get the opportunity. But that captain is here, and he's trying to get something going. But if I were synThrax, I'd be leaving my troops back at home for a little bit to actually heal up. Dear God, these guys are butchered. They're just like cut to pieces. It's awful. Conscripts in the meantime are going to come up against the Pioneers, as well as this flame projector half-track, which already has 3 stars of veterancy. The thing's been on the map for like 3 minutes, and it's got incredible amounts of veterancy. But don't worry, folks, buckle up, because we're not anywhere close to being to the end of this particular game. Yikes, Penal Battalion troops lighten up those Germans, saying they light their fire all day and night. And indeed, with those guys out in the open, it might be more than enough to force them away. No, it is in fact the Russians who book it out of there. But it could be interesting if these guard troops, wow, almost get taken out. HelpingHans, what is going on, buddy? synThrax is going to go for that. Actually, no, it's Rifleman Company. So we're probably going to see an easy 8 in the near future. Not too quick, I imagine. Mostly because they have 0 fuel income by comparison. Is he calling him in? No, he's not. It's going to be a bit of time yet for that, I suppose. And what is left is just to have these poor Penal Battalion troops trying to hold up this massive advance. And it seems wherever those Germans are, the Allies cannot bear to stand there. They have no suppressive bases of fire to take out these infantry rushes here. But at least it does seem it's going to be like a 2-to-1 cap in favor of the Allies should the current capturing continue. But no, it won't continue. Rear echelons in the south getting chased away by that flame projector half-track yet again. That captain is throwing down on me, so he's rallying to that. So kind of interesting right there. And somehow makes it away before actually getting fried. Luck and RNG decides to go for the Fortification doctrine. Could be calling it the LEFH. And I kind of want him to do that. Right now, he really could be, you know, throw down the LEFH right here or so. Got the Shredder Panzer headquarters to kind of take care of these approaches of the map. Heck, even a flank around to the north of it, rather. And the LEFH has an incredible, not line of sight, but range. Meeting engagement in the south, we're going to see more and more of these troops are just kind of butchered here. A Willie Pete barrage is going to come down on top of really a non-existent fire point. Machine gun to the north has a sliver of health left. That mortar team, as well as a couple grenades from the Allied positioning, has seen them off. Not easily, but they've seen them off, which is the important part. So right now it's a 1-0 cap, 480 to 260, and those captured DP light machine guns, you can see one of them right there, kind of outdated when you think about it, but they will give those Volksgren squad a little bit more staying power as the game transitions onwards. Now, this guard group over here sees the Kubelwagen is up and running and move to take them out and do a pretty good job of it. I mean, those guys cannot stand up well. I mean, those things, the PTRS anti-tank rifles would just evaporate any infantry that actually hits. It's like shooting a 50 cal weapon. Actually, I guess it's probably closer to a 30 cal. Williams might want to back me up on that one too. But where one squad doesn't succeed, 2 or 3 might be enough to do it. Kind of wondering why HelpingHans does not throw out a grenade or 2. But he doesn't. And indeed, one of the cool things happens on this map whenever there's a collection of fuel canisters, a round comes in and does explode them, but doesn't cause any immediate harm. And it seems there was a 57mm down here, but the Americans managed to lose it rather quickly. And for some reason, these riflemen have not decided to either throw out a rifle grenade or to book it out of there. And synThrax is just not able to stay competitive with this. Is he calling in his major finally? Yes, he is. Kind of wondering now, though, can these grenadiers be forced away before they take out the captain, before they take out the 57mm? And the answer to that is they can. But whenever they get an inch in one area, Hans is moving over to support his erstwhile opponent, support his erstwhile ally, rather. And they're taking a lot of hits, mind you, but they're seeming to hang kind of tough here. Now, Luck and RNG, I can't help but wonder if he's trying to hang out until a Panther comes up. That's definitely a good opportunity for him. Yikes. That recited, oh my gosh, an Su-76 comes in for the Germans. Excuse me, for the Soviets. What am I thinking, the Germans? Coming in to kill the Germans, perhaps. And indeed, grenade comes out on the house. We'll take out that garrison. And the Guards' rifle infantry should be able to shred that Panzerschreck squad, but do not get the opportunity before having a bit of a hustle back to home base. The 57mm is up. It is only on prioritized vehicles, so that's good right there. But his opposite number has the western side locked down. Neither player really seeking to kind of be aggressive in this immediate area. Yikes. A rifleman taking some hits from the SF minefields. the silent killers in many ways. And, oh my gosh, super close, but that machine gun gets in there first. And with a flame projector half-track, what's it, like a VOSP variant kind of idea, things are not going to be too wonderful. But the bazooka is up and running, but the machine gun is there at the same time, so it doesn't seem to matter wherever the allies are. The Germans seem to be massing just perfectly to take them out. But, you know, right now it still is at least a one to nothing, excuse me, a 1-to-1 cap. At least it will be for another few seconds, at least before the Germans force away the allies yet again. The captain is going to take a couple of rounds right over here, a couple of bursts of flame rather, from this flame half-track. But the flame half-track does finally go down, takes a round from the 57mm, and that thing gets its revenge. It's been waiting for a very long time to do that, and eventually ends up getting it. But those S-mines cannot be deterred, cannot understate how effective those things can be. And with a machine gun right there to back up the German lines, what had been a very, very, potential rich American push is going to get butchered without a lot of support. As U-76 starts throwing rounds down range and its light arty barrage, that thing is free, and he's going to make use of it as much as possible. It's going to, be unfortunately not 100% useful. We're going to see a drop squad over here for synThrax. Run, Shep! No, and instead it is Rifleman going down. But interestingly enough, these rear echelons seem to be hanging tough over here. Do back away just in time. That last guy doing a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump when the grenade explodes under his unfortunate body, leaving his captain and his rifleman over here to kind of really be lost and alone against Shreks and DP light machine guns. Shrek's not the worrying thing. The DP light machine guns, on the other hand, might be, and even more so, here comes this machine gun. Is he going to get people away and out of that firing arc in time? The answer to that question is no. Captain's down. Are we going to see a rifle grenade? No. Anything? Bueller? No. And instead it's just going to be Gwen throwing more and more infantry down range. But there's a oh my gosh, I missed a T-70 on the field now, so the T-70 is going to be decently placed to support his comrades, and even more so, here comes another Willie Pete barrage coming in, and that will do a fair amount of damage, if it actually hits anything. It'll do okay. It'll get some damage off, but not a ton. Of course, I say some damage, and it melts almost 2 squads down to the bone. You do not want to be there when Willie Pete goes off. He has quite a temper. Now, luck and RNG. There we go. He finally does have the LEH out. And the question is, where's he firing? Oh, way back here. Is he going? He's actually going for that ambo. Kind of interesting if it comes in and actually hits him. Rifleman squads are getting hammered, though. So good. Finally seeing the LEFH. I would say it's a good play out of luck on RNG. And he's got more than enough fuel right now. He's filling an absolute metric ton of it. But he doesn't seem to be doing very well with preserving his infantry. You do hear right now another squad's been lost. And that's a fairly vetted up Volks squad. Gwen, for his own part, has not teched up the entire way. Only finally doing that now. No one really going for those heavy vehicles, which is kind of surprising in many strange ways. Trying to figure exactly why that is. And that thing just continuing to fire? Yeah, that thing has a beautiful, beautiful range. And it's fairly quick barrages as well. Kind of always fun to watch. And synThrax is finally calling in a Firefly. That should be more than enough to butcher pretty much anything until that Tiger comes out. See when the Panther comes out, and it will come out with a vengeance, let me tell you. Stun grenade comes out over here on these riflemen. That means it is elite troops doctrine for Gwyn. And you gotta have to watch out for the Tiger race now. That thing can be very, very devastating. Of course, not a Firefly, an Easy 8. Excuse me, folks. My apologies there. Every now and again, that silhouette kind of throws me. You know, it's not really a good excuse, but it's an excuse nonetheless. We're seeing some local counterattacks happening. These riflemen ducking in behind this wall, but a couple models falling, and they get hammered hard by the close-range firepower from this P-Grens. But that first Easy 8 is on the field now, and with a bunch of very, very vetted up mainline squads, it could be enough. At least for now. to keep the Allies in good stead. Of course, if he's this aggressive with his tanks, it may not be a very, very long-lived Sherman. Machine guns continue to be a problem over here to the west. These valiant rear echelon troops are running forward to get another burst or two of flame out, and they're getting just constantly forced into a retreat. SU-76 deploys to the north, trying to cut off this Panther coming forward, but with the Panther coming in, Luck and RNG should be able to push back, at least for a minimal sense, any Soviet push. Though with two Zis guns as well as the SU-76, that Panther is a little bit less set than he should be. Easy-8 falls prey to the Panther, initially taking some of its unwelcome attentions. And shockingly, this Panther is actually taking some hits here. Not too good. HelpingHans is trying to get that anti-tank gun. He got a firing arc on it. Had he left it where it would have been perfect. He could have thrown a lot of the AP Sable rounds into them. Unfortunately, we are going to see a dead crew, and actually, as it turns out, a dead Panther as well. That SU-76 throwing in just enough attention that this other Zis gun could pick it up. But a Strompanzer has been called in a Brumba, a grumbling bear. How the garden you hit, Panther. I'm not entirely sure it's maybe how the hell or how hard, or I don't know what it is. But it seems that Luck and RNG needs to pay attention a little bit more to his troops than he does to his griping. And indeed, we're going to see, I think Gwynbleidd probably do a pretty good job of that, throwing down rounds. And that guy is already getting himself some kills. Now, synThrax could do okay against it with his Easy-8 in a 1-to-1 match. But with these Shreks, with that pack, the Easy-8's got to book it out of there right now. In fact, he's going to even use the smoke screen projectors. Right now, we're going to see a lot of really good intermixing play between the two sets of allies here. synThrax is getting hit pretty hard. Oops, geez, there's a Panzer Shrek as well as a Zook. Getting hit pretty hard by the Germans, but the Soviets every single time came down to help them out. And that's exactly what you want to see out of your companion. Pack 40 goes down. There has now been an anti-tank grenade? No. Button vehicle? No. What the heck did this guy just get hit with? Well, no, here comes an anti-tank grenade out of the rifleman. So that's all it's going to be, just consistent soft AT. It might actually take out this broom bar. And the grumbling bear may go into hibernation pretty quickly here, but not before taking out a couple more infantry squads. Easy-8 comes forward. Well, who will get the honor of the last hit, though? Will it be the guards? Will it be the guards? The guards deserve it. Nope, and instead is, in fact, that the Easy-8, who takes a couple of rounds from the Raketten for his trouble, but that is a big swing, at least until this bad boy comes out. Unfortunately, the way that Gwyn keeps bleeding manpower is not going to be immediate. And you kind of wonder why he shouldn't be calling in maybe some, stormtroopers who could possibly pick up that Shrek or two and just really, really take out his opponent rather easily. Oh, geez. LEFH comes in and starts throwing rounds, and gosh, that vehicle crew loses 2 models already. I'd get out of there right now. Kind of funny to me if this Easy-8 would get taken out by the static emplacement. Sniper team, though, is over here throwing rounds into the support squads on the other side. Finally having 17 kills. Really not getting an incredible amount of work done. Easy-8, though, has been recovered and barely avoids getting hit again. Rounds going back the other direction, though. Where's that mortar firing? I can't tell you for sure. I wish I could. And this vehicle crew, as well as the rear echelons, are going to try to quickly get that Easy-8 back into the fight. Yep, Gwyn is just going to hold out for that Tiger Ace, and when he comes in, that could be a good power swing in the favor of the Germans, and they need it. What happened? A trip cap and over 200-point lead has now shrunk into about 90 points right now. A trip cap for the Allies, and all the German war machine clustered in this area right here. Indeed, they're even losing their fuel to the north, and that's you really don't want to do that if you're the Germans. 57mm for some reason comes charging forwards. Probably will get decrewed pretty quickly, and indeed these riflemen are going to get shredded as well. Probably should book it out of there. They are finally going to do so, and the anti-tank on crewmen are shattered quite effectively. Easy 8 in the meantime comes forward, screaming about the sound and the fury, trying to pick off these Shreks as quickly as possible. It's not going to be too easy for him. Another 5 or 10 seconds, and we will see that Tiger Ace will get called in. As it is, the LEFH is throwing rounds into the Americans and carving them up, but good. Taking out a squad or two on retreat. And there he is. The Tiger Ace is on the fray, on the pitch, and all the Allies really need to watch out right about now. Bulletin, in fact, going to support that Tiger Ace. That's exactly what you want to see, too. I mean, that Tiger Ace sometimes loses out with being how slow it is. It gets flanked rather quickly. So increasing that sight range will give him a little bit more of an idea as to how easy it would be to get picked on. You do see it right now. He's got that range on the EZ-8 and can start throwing rounds into him. And indeed, the EZ-8 just continues to take hits like crazy. Soviets don't have any heavy tanks to call into the fray, and indeed the best they've got is they have the T-34-85s, but there's still a good portion away from that. synThrax, for his own part, could be calling in some more EZ-8s, but he is losing his infantry right, left, and center.
We're taking lead over here.
Indeed, they are taking lead, and it is not a pretty sight. There is finally a T-34-85 come out for HelpingHans. And it appears I actually missed out when that T-70 bought it as well. My guess is it probably just got shreked to death or rocked. Or I couldn't tell you, folks. I'm sorry. But a 2-to-1 cap now finally for the Germans for the first time in about 10 minutes. They actually have the advantage on VP holdings, making it 273 to 197. For some reason, the combat engineers are charging forwards. Get out of there, my friends. Get out of there. And they finally retreat. And there's a big push of Soviets ready to pick up the slack. Just as well as there's a big-ish push by the Allies to the south, but not going to be a very good idea for them. Another Willy Pete barrage comes down. They're trying to keep trying to drop it on top of these Pigren's, but every single time they just seem to miss them by just a hair. But you know what? He's getting exactly what he wants until that Tiger Ace comes out to play, and at that point, yeah, ain't nobody gonna be ready for that. And for some reason, the EZ-8 decides to throw itself obligingly onto that Tiger Ace's gun sights. It will take a couple of hits for its trouble. And between that and a cheeky Raketin over here to one side, it gets picked off. Indeed, all that's left now for the Americans is just a couple of Zooks or Shreks onto that captain squad, and there's one Jackson. At least HelpingHans is doing something over here in the north. He's able to really kind of rock and sock with the T-34-85, mostly because, oh my gosh, there's a pack on the field, an 88 mil. It's gonna be a deadly 88, my friends. The only lucky thing for the Soviets right now is that the thing is not actively firing at anything it could. Yikes. This is not going to be a pretty picture for a bit of time here. LEFH continues to throw rounds down range and looking again in vain for the vehicle crew. It doesn't happen, just luckily enough. 88 gets his first round off. That thing is going to destroy that T-34 if Hans is not careful. Yep, getting hurt pretty bad. Looks like he's trying to pick off that machine gun, maybe on retreat. No, he doesn't get a chance to do so. Instead, he actually might even get picked off by a Tiger Ace. And geez, the riflemen flee in the face of it. Like, oh my god, can't stand up to that monster. Captain turns around. Will he get off one last salvo with his Razook and Shrek? Where's Bashreka? No, he does not. So we're going to see Scout Sniper Squad up to the north getting chased down by these Obosodaten. And in turn, getting hammered by these penal troops who are kind of hanging out just long enough to support that Scout Sniper Squad. Okay, there really should be another Easy 8 or another Shrek, excuse me, or another Jackson or something out here. Because right now, this Tiger Ace looks like a god just because he keeps throwing rounds down range and picks off infantry pretty much at will. Penal troops over here are going to come up against this highly vetted squad, as well as Sturmpiles from close range. Is not going to go well, and indeed, yep, there goes HelpingHans towards the backfield. Doesn't want to hang around for that, and I don't blame him. Now, both these tank destroyers are hiding over here. Maybe there's safety numbers in their mind. I'm not entirely sure. But with them hiding in the south, they do open up their area to the north, and that's where you're going to see this moderately serious push. Not a huge one, but a moderately serious one out of Luck and RNG. Where is that? Oh, Willie P. Barrage on top of these P-Grens, and that is going to just savage them. I don't think the Willie P. Barrage actually takes out any models by itself. I think it just takes them down to almost minimum health possible. There's going to be another Easy 8 coming out for synThrax, and HelpingHans has got an SU-85 now on the field. So while they should still be rightfully terrified by that massive, massive 88, who's already gotten himself 1-star veterancy, so a target weak point that could destroy a tank, PDQ. The Allies could theoretically have enough to take down this Tiger Ace should they be able to flank it in the field. Surprisingly enough, the 88 mil has not decided to rotate itself just to really start picking off anything possible. And indeed, he really could be seeing this T-34-85. There you go, finally resighting himself. One round comes in, 66% health. Barely making it away before a second round goes off. And geez, in the south, I was missing it, folks. I'm so sorry. There's a push to try to take out this Tiger Ace. Doesn't happen. But this Easy 8 is trying to pick on, yikes, trying to pick on the machine gun. Does not happen. And indeed, the Easy 8 goes down very, very quickly. Kind of disappointingly so. SU-85 comes in to start picking on that Gwynbleidd. Gwynbleidd finally will go down. The guy's been there for aeons. Wait, destroyed engine and the main gun's been destroyed, but somehow, shockingly, he's not dead. Instead, in the meantime, though, this bunker that's been hanging out over here for quite a bit of time is down, so the machine gun is cleared away. Leaving Luck and RNG with an absolute ridiculous amount of fuel. I have no idea why he's not been calling in Panthers galore. He's got a small enough army, he can really afford to do so. And allowing his beleaguered ally to really be taking the brunt of the attention from two separate players. It is only by the good grace of God and RNGesus that he's not been completely wiped off the map as it is. 261 to 144. The Germans were under a 2-0 cap. They're going to change that back to at least a different 2-0. We'll see. And HelpingHans is going to actually try to clear things up a little bit more by bringing in a Katyusha. Interesting decision. Not sure that's necessarily the best, most efficient idea. And a rifleman squad does go down because synThrax loses himself in the music and the moment. He doesn't own it. You know, he only has one shot, and he did miss his chance to retreat. So where that opportunity goes, he loses his squad, and it's only one lifetime. You gotta wait for it. Penal troops to the north are going to take some fairly devastating hits, and indeed, these guards right here get stunned up by a grenade from these grenadiers. But that Katyusha now is on the map, and I'm wondering, will he just start throwing a barrage or two at this lovely little area right here? Well, there's a KT out on the field as well. So two ultra heavy tanks out for the Germans. And this guy's a terrifying monster. Tiger Ace and the King Tiger. Kind of interesting thing is that the King Tiger originally did not have a machine gun on it. It was something that they could not see the use, its designers anyway, could not see the use of putting a machine gun on top of the tank. Indeed, the first time it saw battle, guys would run up to it with flamethrowers and satchel charges and just wrecked every living bejesus out of the opposite numbers. Yup, rounds are going to be thrown at that 88, but I don't know how effective it will be. Never mind, folks. You could see it decrewed, could see it destroyed. Recon flight comes in from HelpingHans. He decrews, marked vehicle comes in from HelpingHans. Onto the KT, not completely surprising on that one, but not able to take out everything he's looking to do. Tank destroyers and the Zis guns lining up on top of this KT, taking some rounds, but doing all right, at least forcing him back in a little bit of fear. Not an incredible amount, but a little bit of fear. For some reason, these engineers and, conscripts and penal troops are all saying, "We can do it!" And charging forwards. Gee, synThrax, it doesn't seem like he has any luck whatever he does. Just keeps losing models like crazy. He's a crazy boy. He's giving him away. Indeed, rear echelons do need to book it out of there, but don't make it in time. They go down. So lots of mistakes happening on both sides. Luck and RNG down to just 3 squads. Gwyn, the only one with really kind of any committed presence on the field with the infantry. And HelpingHans. SU-76 has taken some hits, but he's got 3 stars of veterancy. He has got that whole tracking business. He's got, light arty barrage? I always thought for myself that the SU-76 should get target weak point a la, PAX and vetted up anti-tank guns. But alas, that is never going to be the case. Meantime, button vehicle is going to happen over here onto this King Tiger. Not that's going to do a whole lot of good. Yep, he's going to back away before he gets butchered. Penal troops to their own effect are going to try to rush forward to take out this Rakettenwerfer just maybe. Not entirely sure why. 224 to 125 would be good for, penal troops do get a satchel charge off, so that Rakettenwerfer will go down.
We have the forward structure under attack.
What is firing over there? Dear God, what is firing over there? It's not the Willy Peep barrage. Huh, couldn't have been mortars, could it? It's only 1 mortar. Impossible. I don't know, but in the north we're going to see this T-34 has gotten things fairly under control. One kind of waits for, the 88's going to unmask itself, and I guarantee you that Katyusha will fire again. Yep, he is charging forward, trying to get himself so that there's little to no spread. Stalin's organ is lining up. Kind of afraid. No, he's afraid. No, he's not afraid. He's kind of lining up, waiting for it. He's throwing rounds down to the south. There's an interesting idea. He is looking to deny that VP, and he succeeds in doing so, at least for a brief period. This Grenadier Squad is going to charge into it. But he doesn't take a whole lot of hits, and in fact, I think he's going to successfully escape with only 1 model dropped. A lucky duck there. Now, Tiger instead is going to charge forward with the assistance of that KT. Zis guns and PAX are going to try to do their best to hold back the wave of devastating attention from these massive monsters. One AT gun has already been damaged to the point of being decrewed. The other one now gets decrewed as well. Recrewing happens, and almost immediately it almost gets decrewed just as quickly. Yep, there it goes. Kind of wondering, will penal troops throw out a satchel charge? Maybe. It'd be kind of interesting to throw a satchel charge like right there, but no, it doesn't happen. Instead, another T-34-85 will be brought in, and coupled with this rather battered Easy 8, I don't know if the Allies can rally. But then again, here's the SU-76. He's off to one side. Fire up does go down more or less on this captain, and that Tiger Ace is forced away with marked vehicle on top of it and crashes immediately because it gets shot down. Not always the most amusing thing to happen, but it is kind of funny whenever it does. It is going to be a trip cap for the Germans. And Hans, all he's got left, he's got a couple of T-34 85s, but he's been dropping a lot of infantry in the last couple of minutes here. 40 minutes in and 20 seconds. And this KT is taking hits. It's just taking a very, very long time to take it out. And I'm not sure this one's got the distance. Now, were I him, I would even consider charging like crazy. And guards, in the meantime, though, are going to get butchered by all the indirect firepower. And the Su-76, brave that it is, does go down. Taking hits now from pretty much everything that can remotely aim at it. Katyusha barrage comes in as well. Is it going to hit anything in particular? No, it doesn't seem to be impacting exactly where it needs to be. And indeed, that 88 still continues to live. To the west, this EZ-8 will be enough to chase away one machine gun, but that is not actually capturing out all the necessary areas. And indeed, this Tiger Ace is coming over here to show the EZ-8 why you shouldn't play with the big boys if you can't handle the heat. So I'm mixing metaphors right there, but you know what I mean. Rear armor hit somehow. Could we see, though, the death of this Tiger Ace? I don't know. It could be it's going to be kind of a long shot, but it could happen. It could happen. Not easily, but it could happen. Interestingly enough, we're going to see that LEFH has 5 stars of veterancy. He's got 37 kills. He just keeps firing out rounds all day, every day. And now the T-34 is going to get tossed away in a mad cap for dash for glory. Might be able to take out the Tiger Ace, maybe not. Nope, there goes one. The other one's going to buy it any second here, and there goes the other one. Any second? Really? And Hans says, screw it, and he bows out. So that is going to be pretty much it. Let's get the last couple seconds here. So, folks, thanks so much for tuning in for this particular game. Just kind of a butcher on both sides here. And yeah, true, he was AFK the first few minutes in, but a lot of mistakes on both sides here. And nevertheless, thank you so much for tuning into this particular Halloween edition of Company of Heroes 2. Well played to the Germans, to Gwynbleidd, and luck and RNG is all you need. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Apparently all you need is a big gun and a big AT gun, well, and a big tank. So it may luck and RNG and big stuff to batter your opponent into. And I don't know, it doesn't roll off the tongue. We'll figure it out next time. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'll see you all soon. And this is khanulricgaming signing off. Take it easy.